Bry, your hero, with Walt Flanagan, your hero, and with everyone's hero, Sunday Jeff. BQ, Walt. What are we going to do about this guy? Ming and I were coming back from Boston, and we were going to listen to some podcasts, and I went to What Say You, and there has been no new episode since like mid-May.
Well, I thought you told me that BQ's going through some business, his professional life and his personal life are colliding, and it's like one of those.
Not very professional. If your personal life was falling apart, would you still?
Would I still pod?
Yeah.
I think I would be honest. It'd be pretty low on the priority list. You know. It may be. It may fall. But I mean,
he's doing all right now. For anybody who's wondering why he's not here, it's they're shooting nights all this week, so he couldn't make it any night.
But how's he doing personally, though?
I think he's doing okay now.
Is it better now?
A little bit better, yeah.
Yeah.
He was in a black hole for a little bit, not feeling too great. But I think he's.
Is he coming back next week?
I think he'll be here next week. Yeah,
I'd
be pretty surprised if he wasn't. I mean, I didn't confirm him or anything, but if he's available next week, I'm sure he'll come back. What about you, Sunday Jeff? Your entire personal life around you is uprooted.
Yeah, unless it's terms for divorce, I would. Like I said, it would be a low priority too. I'd be the same way.
Would you want to do it though, just to like you walk in and your wife's like, you know what, Jeff, enough's enough. I want a divorce. You don't turn right around and go back and pod.
No, that's what I said. If you're getting divorced, then no reason to stay home. You want to stay away from it.
Exactly. Maybe that's it. Maybe Ming's going through a divorce. That's nice. It just hasn't told anyone.
It's over.
Yeah.
I gotta say, man, I was stunned. Like we went to. I did my one and only con appearance.
Right.
In Niagara Falls a couple weekends ago or last weekend. I don't know when it was.
Last weekend, weekend before, yeah.
And he came up solo, but the rest of us brought, our wives and our kids and everything. He said that his wife didn't want to take the kids out of school. But so he was up there solo. And as I'm driving home that Monday, someone beeps at me. I'm getting gas, and someone beeps at me, and it's him. He's getting gas as well. And I'm like, oh, hey, what's going on? He goes, nothing. He goes, I'm not making any more stops. I'm only stop. I'm going to make it back in like 5 hours. And I'm like, there's no way you're making it back in 5 hours.
Where did you see him?
Real early on the way back from Niagara.
Which is easily 8 to 9 hours.
He's like, I'm not stopping, and I'm going to make it home by 5 o'clock or whatever. And I'm like, all right, whatever. I don't know why he told me this though.
A quarter mile down the road, you see his car flipped over.
But I'm like 4 cars in front of him though, getting gas. So I'm out of the gas station, and he's not even getting gas yet.
Right.
About 10 minutes later, he goes like, I heard a boom. And I didn't realize it was a sonic boom, but it was, because he goes flying by. And do you know what? He did not go home.
No.
He was busting ass to get home and pod.
With the Zen librarian? Oh, God. He seems so normal when I hang out with him.
He's never been normal. I told you that from day one.
You have. You actually, yeah.
I told you that from day one, that this dude, I swear to God.
Stay away from him,
I would be like, I want you to take an X-Acto knife and start cutting away at his scalp line and peel it down, because he's a robot. There's something, he's not a human, man. There's something really off. He acts like he's human at times, but even when he's acting too human, you're like,
it's an act. Yeah, you can tell it's an act.
Yeah, it's an act.
He's like, this is how I think humans act. Like from what I've observed.
From what I've been programmed, this is what a human would do right now.
You need to update his software, man.
No emotion chip.
Yeah, but I saw. I didn't realize. I only saw it later online that that he had for some reason he tweeted, just got back to the stash. I'm going to pod right now. Just
before
got back.
seeing the sandwich.
Huh? Yeah. I mean, you take it for what it is, but that's...
Maybe his whole family's
robots.
But
you know what, though? We need a little bit of that at a BQ, I think. A little bit of that Ming drive to pod.
Yeah.
Not saying that, not coming down on BQ, but hopefully next week he's got the same kind of determination.
Right.
to get down
He'll
here.
zoom by, but that fucking sonic
That's
boom.
what I hope, because I miss BQ. I really do. Even though we got Sunday Jeff sitting in, which is always a pleasure. I haven't seen BQ in a while now, and I definitely
Yeah, it's got to
I
be
need
close
my-
to like maybe a month now.
yeah, I
Maybe.
need my Q injection.
Yeah, I'm sure that next week he'll be here with the fucking inoculation you need.
Yeah.
We were Ming and I did a pod on the way up. We, threw on the headphones and talked for a little bit. I still have to cut it because from what I remember, most of it was basically about as interesting as I sell comics, which makes me want to.
So it's not getting.
It may never be released yet. But there was a fucking moment where we're driving and he's talking and he'll look over at me talking and there's traffic up ahead, dead stop. And he's zooming towards, he wasn't going real fast, like 70, 75 maybe. And there's that moment where you're between when you would start your deceleration
Slow down,
and
bitch.
when somebody else, you're like,
Right.
are you going to?
Yeah.
And it passed that, and then he kept going. I was like, dude. Like,
No, he
Start
didn't
grabbing the
realize it.
dashboard.
if I hadn't said anything, I probably wouldn't be sitting here right now.
He was too wrapped up in the conversation,
Too wrapped up in the pod,
which is so weird because you can have a conversation in a car
without these mics
without
in your
these
head.
without being recorded, and you wouldn't get lost in it.
Right.
And that's why I'm telling you,
Podcasting on his mind, I guess.
He's a fucking Terminator, man. A podcasting Terminator.
Behind the wheel, too.
We went up to Boston this past week, and
How was it?
it was okay. It was, the people are nice, but
Hell yeah.
it's once you're there, all I want to do is go to my room, but all he wants to do, and it's not I think you're at an age now where you're I'm just going to go do this and do whatever the fuck you want. I don't really care. You don't have that need to constantly hang around. But there was a moment, I don't have the picture, but he has a friend up there, some guy, and I guess he Instagrammed or tweeted or whatever a picture of his friend with no shirt on and a fruit drawn on him, or it might be the other way around. And one of them had a fruit painted on him, and the other one had Pac-Man painted on him, and they're both shirtless, big smiles and shit. His friend was actually a really cool guy, really nice. But I guess when he tweeted it or Instagrammed it, our manager, our road manager, saw it. And the friend said, when he was recounting the tale the next day, he goes, it was the weirdest thing. As they were leaving the club, this huge SUV pulls up, all the windows tinted out, the door flies open, and they're like, Ming, get in the truck. And they literally take him and put him into the SUV and drive off as if he's been kidnapped. But I guess they were concerned that he was getting in a little too deep, and maybe this was the kind of bar that you don't go to meet girls.
What? He was aware of it?
Yeah, because his friend, I believe, is.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? But you know what? That to me isn't really that. He's up for anything, including.
I think you might be right. I think this is a guy. I think this is a guy who led such a sheltered life, and probably wanted to do stuff, and never did. And now, strangely enough, at 40, he's like, "That's it. I'm going to spread my wings and whatever else."
Yeah, I just think he's so I want to taste every fruit. I want to
Low hanging, high hanging.
I want a little Caligula in my life. Now, I have to say, after doing Niagara,
Now, this was
I
your
agree.
first con as a comic book man,
yeah.
as
Yeah.
as an artist, as anything, right?
Yeah,
other
I
than
guess.
working,
But
selling VSP shit.
I got to be honest, man. It did when people come up and people are nice, so like you said, and it's everyone's excited, which is odd that they're excited, but it left a kind of bitter taste in my mouth. To have to tell people who came up and told me they listened to Tell 'em Steve Dave.
Yep.
I want to get a picture of you. And there is no way a listener of Tell 'em Steve Dave should have to pay to get a picture with me. I find it very distasteful. It ruined my weekend. I hated it. I hated
It's
it.
tough, right?
I don't want to do it, and I vow that if you come up and tell me you're a listener and tell them Steve Dave, I'm not charging you
Yeah.
because I hated that. Man.
For all the cons you're not going to after this.
I know I'm putting you in a very awkward.
I'm like, what did Walt say?
The other guy can do it, right?
I'm going to bury this podcast too.
But I'm not kidding around, man. When people come up and they tell you a certain story, or they tell you how much it means to them, and you're like, "Oh, can I get a picture of you?" And I'm like,
For money.
"Oh."
It's painful, right?
It really, really was, and I really hated it. And it's one thing to sell, like we're selling the sets of Cryptozoic, man. You're selling them something. You're selling them a product.
Right.
I cannot stand the thought of that someone who wants just a picture of me has to pay for it. I hate it.
Well, here's the thing, because
I know you're gonna hit me with the rationale. That,
Well, no, actually-
and it makes sense and everything, and what you do, what you got to do. But
right. I understand that feeling.
I don't need, like you say, I don't need that dollar from that dude.
Right.
I don't need it.
Well, just
I don't
let's not let. I don't want people to be mixed up. These pictures are not $1. Just so you know. That would be nutty.
But whatever it is, and if it was somebody who only listened to the TV show or watched the TV show, I don't know why, but there's a difference.
There's a difference. Oh,
I don't know why there is,
couldn't
though.
Agree more.
Why is there?
I don't know, because this Tell 'em Steve Dave was started and continued for personal reasons. Whereas the TV show sort of came along and it was like, all right, we'll do this. I know you don't like to be on camera. I don't really like to be on camera. If I could have written a TV show for AMC as opposed to being on camera, in a heartbeat, I would have been like, no, I'd rather not be on screen. Those two, forget it. They love it. But
oh yeah, I don't, and you wonder at times. You are watching it, right? Why do you love it?
there's really no reason.
Because you really should be like, I dread this.
Oh my God, it's summer already. Another season of this shit. But it's to me, Tell 'em Steve Dave is so much more personal and so much more us.
Yeah.
You
shouldn't be. I don't know. I feel like I'm taking advantage. If it did, it felt like I said. I left it. There was one guy who came up, super nice guy, sent me directions to the local Denny's in Niagara Falls.
I could never charge that guy.
You know what? I felt I had to do more for that dude. And I gave him a little sketch. It wasn't like more like I did more, but I couldn't let him walk away and with here I need to charge you for a picture. I felt so shitty. I felt really bad, but I don't feel that way when someone's like, "Oh, I love the TV show."
Yeah, I agree.
And I'm like,
you
give
fucking lemming motherfucker.
but if you tell me you're listening to Tell 'em Steve Dave, I feel embarrassed to be there. Then
It's more of a loyalty factor, I think.
Well, here's the thing, and everyone charges everybody,
right.
and I right after I really wanted to go to Niagara Falls. I really wanted to, because you're going to be there, and I was like, there's no way he's doing any more. So that to me was a huge fucking disappointment, and it was fucking super irritating.
Yeah, you didn't miss much.
Was it? Yeah.
There's I have no stories to tell. There was nothing happened of that.
I heard you had your own picture up on the table and you kept flipping it over.
Oh, that's true. At first, Ming, without even asking me, prints a solo picture of me.
Who?
Me.
Ming. Yeah,
Ming did, because they sell these 8x10s of themselves, right? But without telling me, he prints a picture of me solo. Without even asking me.
So if he didn't do that, you wouldn't have had to charge for anything, really.
No. You don't. I don't think you understand, bro. If you just want to take a picture with your own camera, they charge for it.
Even if you buy like an 8x10 with a signature.
No.
If you buy an 8x10, you get a quote unquote free picture.
No, but
that's not free.
But I'm saying, if you bought a 8x10 picture and you signed it, can they still take a picture of you?
Yes.
And there's no additional charge for
no additional charge. And I mean, you've been to cons, so you know that everyone does this. And I'm talking top tier people who charge way the fuck more than we do.
Yes, Captain Kirk
$35, $50 a
Captain
shot.
Kirk was there charging with like an obscene amount of money.
Ming told me that, I can't remember who the person was. If he comes back, I'll ask him. They were charging $100. $100 for a picture and a signature. What's that?
It might have been Kirk.
It might have been him.
or the White Ranger,
I thought it was somebody.
the White Power Ranger.
It was somebody that I was like,
They were
really?
whoever the